Hey, what's up, Energy Tech? It's Mr. Murphy here to go over how to use the X-factor method to factor trinomials. If you recall from the previous slide, a trinomial is a polynomial that has three terms, and it'll usually be written in this form: ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are coefficients. So we're going to be using this information to factor a trinomial. So the first step here, if we're trying to factor this x squared plus 8x plus 12, we're going to start by just simply listing out the coefficients. Remember, it's written in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. So a is pretty much just in front of the x squared, and as you can see, there's nothing here. When there is no number in front of the x squared variable, or really any variable for that matter, it's just implied that there's an invisible 1 right here. So our a coefficient is going to be equal to 1. The b is always going to be right in front of the regular x. So b is 8 here, and c is going to be our constant, just the number at the end. C is going to be 12. The next step, we're going to be actually starting to create our x-factor diagram. And when doing this, you're always going to write b at the bottom and a times c at the top. So we have, you're going to draw a little x here, b on the bottom, a times c at the top. So, and then you can fill these values in. So the b coefficient was 8, we had mentioned earlier. So we're going to write 8 down here. And then a times c, we're going to take our a coefficient 1 and multiply it by c, 12. 1 times 12 is going to be 12. So we have, the x-factor diagram starting to come together. And the third step is we're going to find two numbers that have a product of 12 and a sum of 8. So you want to find two numbers that multiply to 12 and combine or add up to 8. I usually just like to start out listing the factors of 12, starting with 1 and 12, and see if they combine to 8. We know 1 and 12, if they combine, they will not be 8. 1 plus 12 is 13, so those are not the factors we'll be using. Next is 2 and 6. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 plus 6 is 8. So those are the two factors that we'll be using, and you'll always be writing the factors on the sides here. So we got 2 here and 6 here. Two other factors of 12 are 3 and 4, but those wouldn't work in this case because 3 plus 4 is 7, not 8. So you need two factors that multiply to the top and add to the bottom. So we got our two factors here. And the last step is just writing the expression in factored form. So we're going to write it as x plus 2 and x plus 6. And we can always check our answer. If you recall from the do now, when we're factoring an expression, it's really like the opposite of multiplication, right? You're breaking it down into two pieces that can be multiplied. If these two pieces are multiplied, it will always, if you factored correctly, it will always be equal to the original expression. So we can check our answer by multiplying this answer out. We can use the FOIL method or the box method, whichever you prefer. Here we can use FOIL, right? So first, x times x is x squared. Outer, x times 6 is 6x. Inner, 2 times x is 2x. Well, we know 6x plus 2x is 8x. And then last is 2 times 6 is 12. So you know that if you multiply this answer, you will get the original expression, and that's how you know you factored correctly. Now, just to recap real quick, so we list out the coefficients, right? 1, 8, and 12 for A, B, and C. Then we start to write our diagram. Draw the X, AC on top is 12, B on bottom, 8, and find two numbers that multiply to 12 but add to 8, 2 and 6. write the factored form, x plus 2, x plus 6, and multiply it out just to check your answer to make sure you did it right.